Hello, 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 hello. So, as the title would suggest, we are jumping into Pidgeotto today. Now, I am not worried, but concerned that I've not left much space here to draw Pidgeotto, or at least be able to draw it to the scale that I want. But I'm not going to skip a page yet when I know that I'm going to be using the next page for Pidgeotto. Yeah, don't know how, but somehow in the last video I managed to skip a page with my sheet and therefore marked pink there, so I'm hoping that Pidgeotto covers that up, but that's going to be Pidgeotto. So I'm just really hoping today that I can keep this small, because if I can get kind of like wings, head, body, leg, and tail, I'm pretty much okay here. So I'm thinking that let's just start off the way we did with Pidgey, with a tiny little beak. And it's frustrating because I do really like Pidgeotto, but also I've got to stick kind of to something, and that is generally that there's 2 Pokemon a page and I'm not going to come back and do more Pokemon. So what I want to do here is kind of start with, if I start with this bit of plumage, or crest rather, again, plumage and crest, don't know the difference right now in my head. Then the rest can kind of come from there. So that one is going to come right around there. I really don't like it being this small, but there we go. So that one is going to come there. And then that's where then a wing's going to come. Okay. So that then is where the head is going to come, which means the wing is then going to come like that. Cool. That gives us something to work from, but I think I'm still going to finish this plumage. Okay. not terrible. We are going to miss off some wing, sadly. Right. So we kind of get onto the wing now, because then we'll know where to kind of come with this. So if we're doing I think the issue with working so small as well is that I'm not really giving myself space for real errors, I suppose. And then that kind of comes. I can fix like this in the lining, but and I will. I promise. I'm not leaving it like this. But it's really gonna just get some kind of idea. Okay, so then that's going to come up here, and then we're going to get a little fat bit of leg there, a little fat bit of leg there, and then tail feathers, which are unfortunately going to come off the page, but sadly that's what we have to do, which then of course means that up here it's going to come to about yeah, as I promise, I will fix these. That isn't actually that bad. So gonna go in with these random meeple pen line liners in 0.3 again. Just because again I've got a real problem with the Hoo-Hoo. updated. Let's have a look. Okay, so go in and line all of this, and in the meantime we'll of course fix what I can fix, because again, don't love the fact that we're working so small, but there we are. Okay. This is where it always gets a bit messy as we get off the edge of the page with my hand. Okay. Um, I'm going to change the shape here a bit, just to help me get some more space in it basically. But I'm going to switch back to the artwork just so I can kind of see again the kind of shapes that they give. And then I'll start from these again. I'm under no impression that this is going to be amazing. I do think there's going to be some flaws with this that are mainly down to it being so small that if I had more room I could make it better / bigger. And also of course there's the fact that it is my drawing, so of course there's going to be some element of me not liking it until tomorrow anyway, regardless of whether or not it's good. So far though, I'm not hating the picture. Like I said, do I wish I had some more room? Yeah. does it affect it greatly? Somewhat, but not massively. I don't think it's the worst image that I've done so far, so that helps a bit. This wing doesn't look great. But them's the breaks. And there we go, and I don't actually mind that, to be fair. I think that's alright. Again, do I love this wing? No. But covering sort of that up, do I enjoy this? Yeah, I haven't done the feathers. What's happening here? Why is that so far behind? Honestly. Okay. Now, earlier I was in here and my son was getting really excited about drawing Pokemon as well. So I drew him a quick sketch of a Pidgey. A Beedrill first, actually. Was it? And then Pidgeotto? Did I do Pidgey? I don't know the Pidgey actually. But he started to get the colours. And I realised that actually there were some decent colours, because again the Artex one was still out and it's still out now. So that's probably what I'm going to use today. For two reasons really. One, consistency, because Pidgey's in Artex and it's on the same page and in the same family. But also two, for laziness reasons, because I can't be bothered to get everything out of the cubes underneath the desk when I've got Artex sitting right next to me. Let's have a look. 1 minute. There we go. Okay, so I just need to kind of remember the colours and where we were, because that was that one, so that's fine. Because Pidgeotto is basically the same colours, apart from the plumage. So that was the dark feathers, or at least the shadow on the dark feathers. What was this? Or was it that one? That one looks right actually. Let's put that there a sec. That can be the shadow. That one. I think it was that. And then we worked out that that was, yep. Now I want beak, which if I recall, I got excited about this one. I was like, oh, it's perfect. Nope, not that one. Yeah, that one. And then I think it was that over the top. I think. So, let's sort of go in with that all now and get at least those parts boxed up and done. Was it this one? It's very bright. And I remember going over it in the warm grey, but hi Munchny, how are you? And that then is much better then, with that over it. It just kind of mutes it a little bit. And that's been, not a complaint, but an issue I've had most of this so far, is a lot of colours are really, really vibrant. But then if it's the fact that I'm not utilising them properly, like this, then that's on me really. I'm going to come in now with the warm grey, just for my shadows. Yeah, pretty much the same, to be fair. I'm trying my hardest not to get excited about the fact that for the last 2 nights, my son's gone to sleep extremely, not early, but extremely on time, to the point where today he was falling asleep while I was reading his bedtime story, and that worries me because it makes me feel that something is coming. But other than that, I'm good. I'm just been sorting out a lot, as I said the other day, sorting out a lot recently, and that's sort of come into today as well. Just want everything to be all done and dusted, and then I can pretend to be relaxed, even though I never really am. But hey, who needs to be relaxed? Right, so We're going to leave the plumage to the end because that's the part that I'm going to need to really concentrate on thinking of, okay, what colours can we do here? Because realistically everything else is just a copy of Pidgey basically, which is good really. And Pidgeotto is mostly the same. I think it was this one anyway. Have I got the wrong colour? Is it this one? The annoying thing is, when my son was playing with everything here, well, I said playing with everything, when he was colouring, he moved the numbers around, which is my fault for not checking. But yeah, no worries, see you soon. I should be here for another sort of, I think like 15-20 minutes or so. Let's give that a set to dry. Because the thing is, Pidgeotto's not that yellow. No, I think we're fine. I think it is the wrong colour, but it's not horrendous. I would not hope that when all the other colours go on, it doesn't look as bad. Because at the moment, this is a very kind of greeny, like chartreuse colour, and I don't like it. Maybe what I should start doing is noting down the numbers or names of colours that I pick for these. For when I need to say, I don't know, there's a Pokemon that's got a similar colour to another, and go, well, you know what, that worked on so and so. What numbers did I use? Or what markers did I use for that one? Let's just copy. But I don't think that far ahead, clearly. And then it really does hinder me when I then come back to something like this, where I know roughly what I've chosen, and something is somewhat similar to it, similar enough for me to go, yeah, that's it, and carry on. And then this happens where we've got a brighter Pokemon we need. But again, these do take a little while to properly dry out, and for all I know, this could be the same colour that we used on Pidgey. I don't think it is though. I'm pretty sure now I'm looking at it in the little the Christmas set of the Artex. I remember my fiance was around and I said, I happened to be looking at them and I said, oh, I think I've got the perfect colour for Pidgey here. I wish I would have known that. And now I can't remember which one it is, so that's that. And I think I will, the colour that I was thinking of maybe using, I'm going to use that for the tail feathers, so I'm going to keep that there. And I'm going to go in with this. Silly me. Missed that there. So what's been quite amusing today, and that's the Fantastic Four first steps, whatever it's called, poster, and people are going crazy because they've denied that they've used AI in the poster when clearly there's AI being used because there's a person in the background with 2 little fingers. And I tried to comment on something, and then it was a website that asks you to sign up to an account to comment on. I was like, well, forget it, not going to happen. But it literally had me thinking: Are we actually at a point in our lives now where people don't know the difference, or not know the difference, but not remember that there is such a thing as CGI, as Photoshop, as editing? AI is only, a recent-ish thing. And you're telling me, okay, in, let's say, the early 2000s, there weren't photos with those exact kind of issues because someone somewhere had failed at editing properly and had edited or photoshopped the wrong thing in and given someone an extra arm. We've been laughing about this for years. Why now suddenly can a company say we didn't use AI for the poster and then they're being called liars? Maybe they did use AI, who knows? But 2 things can be correct at the same time, and one of those things can be that they used Photoshop and someone just did a piss poor job. Why are we, one, getting angry about it when who cares if they used AI? It's a poster. Let's be real, it's a poster for a movie. Calm down. But also, when they actually might not have used it. It could just be some poor intern, some poor art person that's rubbish at Photoshop. I couldn't do it. Give me Photoshop and I won't be able to do it. But you think they've really gone to like ChatGPT or GPT or whatever it's called and said, make me a poster for Fantastic Four, but do it in the 60s? No. I mean, maybe, again, but benefit of the doubt for the time being. And then I think I read someone, well, I put it through Chat GP or GPT, whatever it's called, and it said that it's found this, this, and this. Okay, so did your eyes. That's why you were looking at it and questioning it. I just don't understand. Without getting into much detail, we had a lot of training for the adoption for our son, and a big issue, well, not a big issue, but a big part of it was, learning how to speak their language, how to speak to a child at their level, and that's not easy anyway for anyone. However, one of the things we were tasked with was, in one of the courses, was to make a story about a dog or a puppy, and use that to try and explain adoption to a child of adoption, using their language, trying to keep it on their level with their knowledge base, and seeing, what we could all do. And my fiance was happy to I said immediately, I was like, I've got something in my head, leave it with me. And he said, yep, go for it, you do it, you do you. And so I did me. And I wrote this lovely story about a puppy named Petal, who lived in the pound. We don't call it the pound here, but lived in the pound, and every week a different family came to take her for walks, and it was lovely. But every time that family left her, she was sad because she was left back at the pound. And then one day this family comes and takes her for a walk, and they come back the next week and take her for another walk, and they come back the next week and take her for another walk, and at the end of that walk they take her back to their house and tell her that they're now her new owners. She's now going to be living at their house for the rest of her life. It was a lovely story. Lovely, if I do say so myself. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed writing it in, the half an hour that we had. I enjoyed... Right, those are the same colour, pretty much. I enjoyed reading it out to the rest of the room. I thought it was great. They thought it was really good. But there was one couple there, and this isn't to get at AI in any way, really. It's not. That's not the main issue, really, here. Do you know what? Let's just do these two. But quite freely read the story. Is they said, oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's interesting. It wasn't great, but it was fine. And he's like, I've got some pictures as well. I just went on I don't know, whatever it's called, Chat GP, whatever it's called. Clearly by this point, I don't know what it's called. Went on that and asked it for a story, gave it these prompts, and here's what it came up with. And that was fine and everything, because bear in mind, he'd had a conversation with the room earlier about how he was a teacher and some of his students, he told them to just use AI for their homework. And it already rubbed me the wrong way, because I'm like, okay, he said, we're in such a fast-paced world now where knowledge is at your fingertips. Why are we studying, and why are we wasting our time when we could just be getting AI to do it for us? And I'm like, well, that's the point, because if AI does it for you, you don't flipping know what you're talking about, and you don't have any actual knowledge base that you're increasing. If you're getting the internet to do your work for you completely, not researching, not using it to tidy things or check things, to do it for you completely, you're literally cutting off an entire knowledge base for yourself, and that's a problem for me. So then he brought this story out, and then quite hilariously, the couple next to them then went to read theirs, and I'm so glad it went in the order it did. The couple next to them read theirs, were going to read theirs, and said there's no point us reading ours, because actually we did the exact same thing, and it's given us basically the same story. And I sat there and was like, and therein lies the problem. You both have just done the exact same thing in the exact same place and come up with the exact same answer, which wasn't that great in the first place. Is mine an award-winning novel? No. But the thought came to my head, and I sat there and wrote it with Dan intelligence, not artificial. And again, I've got nothing against AI for certain things, and I don't see there being a problem with using AI to create things like a poster when it's based on your own work. You're saying, here's my stuff, make a poster of it. Great. Makes things easier. But, yeah, it's all just a bit... Maybe it's just all a bit newfangled for me. But, bear in mind, I grew up in both the time of computers and the time of no computers. I spent a lot of my childhood playing outside, and a good chunk of my childhood playing on the Mega Drive and the PlayStation 1. We never had a SNES, sadly, so I would love to say yes, SNES and a NES and Atari. We didn't have those. I think my mum had an Atari, or my dad had an Atari, but I never played it. They should have this cool space game thing in like a little box. I don't know exactly what that was, I'd have to ask her about it. But, you know, when I went to then primary school, I suppose elementary school for those in America, I think, depending on the age/grade, I don't know. But when I went into primary school, there was one computer for the whole school until, I don't know, maybe I was in like year 4 perhaps, which is like 9 years old. And then by the time then there was a computer room, and that's fine, we used that, and that's great. We learned computers as they were coming out, and, you know, that's great. We got the best of both, because I see it with my son now. It's, you know, it's such an obsession with, rightly so, things that are interesting. Phones, tablets, the internet, it's interesting, and I try my hardest now not to be such a hard dad that's refusing to let them do things, because I need him to actually know the world. But also, if you think that your child's sitting on a screen all day is correct, you're not correct. My younger brother showed my son how to play Spider-Man PS4, and now every couple of days that game is on, and he is swinging. He's improving his hand-eye coordination. He's got critical thinking skills that he's going to be learning from them, so I'm happy. However, there are times when I'll just be scrolling on my phone and it suddenly gets ripped out of my hand, and that's not going to happen, because 1, you'll learn what's yours and mine, and 2, if you can't have a day, or you can't have a dinner, for example, without a phone, then guess what you're not having? The phone. So that's the kind of parent that I am and intend to remain. Oh, perfect. I don't know, old man ramblings, basically. Grumpy old 90s baby. Well, for the record, I was born 89, so to some, I'd be an 80s baby, but considering I didn't actually have any consciousness or real life in the 80s, I'm a 90s kid. I grew up in the 90s. That's something that always seems to get misused. Like, children that are born like December 99 consider themselves 90s kids. It's like, absolutely not. You got awareness in the noughties, therefore you're a noughties baby. I'd never dare to claim myself as an 80s baby. Well, an 80s kid, rather. I'm a child of the 90s, because that's when I grew up as a child. That's when I learned the world. So, suck it. That was a really good colour. This is a 16 for future Dan.W that will not actually use it, but hey ho. I'm going to try and find a colour, but I'm considering just going over in one of my greys, because that is a benefit of having grey. So the real question is, yeah, do we go over in a red? Yeah, with that one. Perfect. It's not a huge difference, but it's definitely noticeable. Need to do blue greys and then my highlights, and then I think we are after done. So as we sort of come to the end of this, I absolutely still do not like the fact that it's smaller and therefore that wing seems to have been affected the most. However, I don't actually mind how it's turned out. Right, we kind of want to get some highlights here. Oh, that's really coming up, but... And then just on the beak. And kind of... on the belly here. That doesn't really come up very well, so... And that is everything then, really. So, yeah. Thank you so much, Munchly, for joining me today. If anyone's catching up on this on Twitch, please do drop a follow. I stream on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 PM and Saturday and Sunday at 2 PM when I'm able to, and that is British time. And if you're catching up on YouTube with this, if you do enjoy, please like, follow and subscribe. Don't forget to comment, comment and subscribe rather. And please do check out the playlist to see the rest of the videos. Yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Take care. Bye.